Hey traders, this is Scott Barkley. What if I told you that you could become a world-class Forex trader in just a few weeks? Well, I'm the founder of ProAct Traders and a trader and trainer for over 2 decades. I'm also the author of the book, The Empowered Forex Trader, Turning Pains into Gains. And for the last 20 plus years, I have specialized in taking the complex part of trading and making it simple. Why? Because I'm a pretty simple guy, all right? But that's why I wrote the book, to help traders get it, all right? I have found significant ways to teach the banker's methodology, which is price action, and making it deceptively easy to understand. But simplicity in a complex environment only works if the trader commits to the process, does the work to gain understanding, and follows a blueprint for success. So, I'm going to show you in only a couple of minutes the blueprint. Remember that an open mind is a growing mind. Do you have an open mind? Would you commit to the process if it was verified that it works? So key number one, while the Forex is not complicated, it is complex. We call it complexicated. But in the so-called chaos of the market, there is an order to it created by market makers, and that's why they are called that, which is why if a trader would concentrate on only a few things that the market does every day, they could have an edge. So what are those two things? Glad you asked. It does flag patterns, as you can see on the chart over here. Those are accumulations by the big boys to continue the current move. And it does pullbacks, manipulations by the big boys to continue the current move. All right. So what is the key? Number two, statistics and probability, a methodology of study that will unlock the candle secrets so that you, an average trader, can harness the movements in the charts to capitalize on those movements. Not just recognize the movement, but understand the agenda behind it and what does this pattern statistically mean. In other words, probability. It's not enough to recognize something in the market, but what does it statistically do? So you can become world class in 100 hours. You can Google this to get the actual article. It's the 100-hour rule. How you can become world class in 100 hours. All right. So if you read through it, you're going to find out that deliberate practice times skill selection times 100 hours equals world class skill. Now, I can't become a world class Forex trader in 100 hours. But I could become a world-class pole trader, which is the flag pattern. I could become a world-class flag pattern if I would deliberately practice only poles or flags for 100 hours. I would then have world-class skill in that. If I did deliberate practice of pullbacks, all right, 300, 400 of them, and I did just nothing but pullbacks times 100 hours, I could have world-class skill. So what's the formula? This is from the article. Deconstruct. Breaking down a skill. Being a Forex trader is a lot of different skills, but breaking the skill down into its components and only recognizing and initially two and concentrating on them. Selection. Looking for 20% of the components that gives you 80% of the value. Okay, that's a generic term, but if the market does poles or flag patterns and it does pullbacks every day, then 80% or plus, they are doing those patterns, which means I'm concentrating on something that they do every day. All right. Now, I decide which order to practice in. I'm going to recommend that you do flags first. All right. And then after that, do poles. All right. Now, what are the consequences if you do not follow through? Then you'll continue to do what you're currently doing. What did Einstein say? All right. The definition of insanity is to continue to do what you're doing and expect a different result. So if a trader concentrates on understanding just these two things, you could be a world-class trader in flags in 100 hours. In another 100 hours, you could be a world-class trader in pullbacks. And guess what? You can now earn while you learn because they do flags and patterns and pullbacks every single day. So what happens if you do that? Well, let's listen to some of my traders.
if you do the work. Same as a university student. If you do the work, you gonna get paid. Let's just put it that way.
I just had to, I think, just take things back a little bit and simplify things and really go back to basics with it. So I went back to one currency pair, just trading poles and bear flags and bull flags, and that has, I've been in the positive for the last 4 months.
Well, yeah, I was trying every indicator. I was trying to make sense of what's going on in the market. I wasn't doing very well, of course. Then I found out something called fibs. I was trying to wrap my head around it. It wasn't working. I mean, it really wasn't working at all. I started following a trader on TradingView, and he was simply amazing. Like, it was like he had a crystal ball. I was like, how come he's so like it can be? So this guy at some point mentioned you, Scott, as his mentor. And I thought, okay, if that's the student and he's that good, I have to have that mentor. Actually do the work on your own. So the first months were really hours and hours in the charts. And well, now I just came back after a long vacation. I had my best week ever, over 1,000 pips. Scott, do you remember like my first or second month I was with you? I sent you an email thanking you for my first 100 pips, and I was so amazed. I was like, oh, I made a huge trade of 100 pips, and I was like really happy. Well, now I think I would be spamming you.
You know, I'm at 45% on my shorts and up to 80% on my long trades. So my average is over 50 this month. So this month I've seen a significant jump, you know, in my pip capture and in my trading percentage. You know, so I'm excited about that, you know, because we're trying to get up to 65%. And so I've taken a big step that direction. And, you know, I never dreamed that I would, you know, I mean, I used to trade stocks. I never grew my account 10% in a week, you know, but I mean, this week, I mean, I was up 10% in the last 7 days, you know, and, you know, I mean, I had one trade, you know, I mean, we were trading a real estate of the month trade, like a swing trade. I was up 600 pips and the thing didn't even move yet. It's still stuck in a range, you know, but I pulled 600 pips out of that range, you know, within the last week. You know, I had another position on the Aussie yen, you know, I had 600 pips in the Aussie yen and it made a couple nice moves. I mean, that's another level I never thought I would be able to even participate in, you know, because I used to just grab, I mean, on stocks, I was grabbing 10 cents on a stock or 25 cents on a move, just little scalps, you know, and this is like learning to let these trades breathe and, you know, and participate in those, you know, as you call wide open spaces. And, you know, I've had to relearn a lot to do it. But I mean, I could have had 2,000 pips this week. I could have, I mean, I was right next to having a 2,000 pip 7-day period. And I mean, so I now know it's achievable, you know, and I'll tell it to you like this, Scott, like you, when you do things that are difficult and difficult things are rewarding, you know, I'm a hunter, you know, there were times early in my bow hunting career that I didn't know that you could achieve a thing. You know, I've got a few trophy bucks with a bow. And before I got a trophy, I saw a trophy in the woods and I was close. And once you get close and you know, okay, it's doable, and then you have to figure out, well, why is it doable? How is it? And you got to have the discipline to learn how to be, know where to go. I think ProAct gives you that. Like, now that I know that it's possible if I'm patient and choose the right opportunities in the right week, because you can't do it every week. I mean, the market's not always, you're going to have weird weeks, but you know, you don't need to have many 1,000 pip weeks. to be consistently, if I make a few better choices, like I now know that, I can do this. I can double my account in a month.